my name's Laura and you're watching my double stick tutorial. This is the first of several tutorials I'm making which cover all the tricks I know well enough to teach. I'm going to start off with basic information on double sticks and do instruction a little later in my video. So if you're just looking for instruction, there will be a comment box that will appear right now telling you which part of the video to skip ahead to start with the instruction. First thing you need to learn about double sticks is that they're a type of juggling or object manipulation. You have two controller sticks, which are kind of like rhythm sticks, and a baton, which is called the double stick. You use the two rhythm sticks to control, or the two controller sticks to control the double stick. Now, you might be thinking that this looks different than the stick that you're using. You might be using something more like this. This is a flower stick. Okay, and like I was saying, these are flower sticks. They're one of the two types. There's a traditional double stick, which has been around for thousands of years, and then there's a flower stick, which is a fairly new invention, probably in the past couple decades. The flower stick is what most people start on, and there are many different brands. Like this is a Master Luna stick, but most flower sticks are all pretty similar. They're a lot lighter, and they have a grip on them, a better grip, and they have these weights at the end, and they're a lot easier to learn on. And then there's also crystal sticks, which are really similar. These are called flower sticks because the ends kind of look like flowers when you spin them, and crystal sticks have kind of like a crystal-like thing at the end. Like it makes the tassels make like a crystal pattern, but they're very similar. And this is a traditional double stick. It's a lot different than the flower stick, although they still move in the same concept in the same way. It's just longer than them. As you can see, it's longer. It doesn't have anything at the end. It's a lot heavier. It's solid wood, and comes in like this, gets narrower, and then gets wider, and that's how you can control it. That's because it doesn't have weights on the end, unlike that one, a flower stick, which is just a straight stick. And usually it doesn't have any grip, although this one does. It's still a much more slippery grip than the grip on a flower stick. And this one doesn't have any grip. This is also a traditional double stick, except it has torches on the ends because it's a fire double stick. And they're a lot faster and heavier and harder to control. But once you learn how to use them and how they work and how to do everything, they're a lot of fun and they really help you improve. Now, the first thing you're going to learn is called the tick-tock. This is kind of like a 3-ball cascade in juggling. It's just like an idol. It looks like this, like the pendulum of a grandfather clock. You can practice by starting in your hands. You want to hit it, the double stick, a couple inches from the weight. This is the center. It's good to know where the center is. You don't want to get it too close to that or too close to the flower part, but somewhere in the middle. You can experiment around and figure out for yourself. Then a lot of people will switch and they'll put one stick in their predominant hand, hit about a couple inches down on the stick, and they'll just hit it back and forth like this, and then you'll go on the two sticks. Now, there are about 3 or 4 different ways that you can start with two sticks. The best way to start if you're a beginner is to start on the ground. You can kneel down or sit down and just balance it back and forth with one end on the ground, and then slowly lift it up like this. And then if you keep dropping it, you don't have to keep bending down and picking them up because you're right there anyways. And then once you get better, you can just stand up and keep going. Another way you can do it, which is really good if you're for a beginner too, is to lay it right across flat across the top like this, right around where you want to hit it. And that way, then if you keep dropping it, you can just scoop it up like this, or you can just put it up there yourself. And then you just want to drop one out and go like that. A more advanced way to do it is to hold it with the thumb of your predominant hand, like this, and then just toss it in. One more way you can do it that looks kind of cool is by starting from your foot. You can kind of put it on the front of your foot by your toes, and you just want to lift it straight up like this. And when you lift it up, you want this stick to go right about where you want to hit it. You want to take it underneath and then just bring it into the other stick like this, into the tick-tock motion. So again, it would look like this. And you want to make sure it's balancing on the center line. So you start like this, when people first start doing double sticks, before they get the tick-tock pattern, they usually start off by just throwing the flower stick in between the two double sticks, and usually they don't really have this yet. So you might start off and you're able to throw it between the two, but you're having trouble getting this tick-tock pattern. Because with the tick-tock, it's very important to make sure that this end is at the opposite of this end, so it looks like this. Then one thing you can do is this. You have one up at the top, and the other one is at the opposite end. So it's like they're alternating, each one at the opposite end. And this really forces you to get that tick-tock motion. So if you do this a little, you don't want to always do this, but you can do this to kind of help yourself get that tick-tock motion. Now that you've learned the tick-tock, I'm going to teach you two different tricks. The first trick you can learn is called the toss. It's really simple. You can do a half toss like this, or a full toss. With that, you just hit the double stick a little bit harder, and then you want to bring this one here out a little bit to catch it. So, like this. Another one you can do is kicks. You want to start with kicks by having your double stick in this position. You can start by doing something like a toss, and then catching it, and then hitting it like that, but usually a little harder. You want to hit with this part of your foot here, right here. You don't want to hit with the front of your toes, but this part here. And, you can do it. Some people do it like that, but it's better to hit that part of your foot. And you want to make sure that it goes straight up, not out, because it will just hit whoever's watching. And then you kind of just want to drop it over your foot and bring it back into the tick-tock. Like that. Now, if you've seen anyone do double sticks before, or you've seen any double stick videos on YouTube, you probably won't see them doing the tick-tock very much, unless they're a beginner. Generally, you see people doing this. And this looks a lot cooler. It's called a helicopter. It's not a trick. It's kind of like the 3-ball cascade in juggling. It's kind of like an idol. It's just something that you learn. And this one really isn't a whole lot harder than tick-tock. And you can learn this one fairly quickly. So if you want to learn how to do this, stay tuned, because in my next video, this is what I'm going to start with. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, because I'll have a lot more videos to come.